This is Rada from Sewing Through Fog, and I'm here to bring you all of the upcycled and repurposed materials I found at QuiltCon 2024. Part 2 is shirts and things. I first saw this quilt on Instagram and was like, wow. And then I found out it was a t-shirt quilt, and I thought, holy crap, that makes me think so differently about t-shirt quilts. And then I found out it was made by Mac Barnes, who's 19. And the entire thing I just thought was so amazing and such a fresh take. So if you make t-shirt quilts for people, start making them like this. This is just the future of t-shirt quilts. So I was walking down the aisle for the Scrappy Quilt Challenge, looking for my quilt, and I was super excited right across the way to see Kathy Martin's quilt, Catbird. And if you do not follow her on YouTube, you need to. She does a ton of amazing tutorials of how to use men's shirting in quilts. And both of our quilts I won't say it's looked out of place, but definitely had a slightly different vibe than everything that was in that kind of brightly colored, patchworky, scrappy quilt area. But I thought hers was just beautiful, especially all the different blues. And again, the fact that she used so many different textiles. So this was one quilt that I knew was going to be at QuiltCon and I absolutely needed to track down. Eve, who I was traveling with, and I agreed this was one of our absolutely favorite things we've seen so far. It's by Kristen the Flame, and it is made using her husband's military uniforms. I'll let you read about it from her, but the creativity and the color, and it was just incredibly striking. I mean, in person, but also from photos, and I was just so impressed. It wasn't just using those materials to make a beautiful quilt, it was also the story. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. This was probably the third or fourth quilt I saw, and from far away, it just kind of looked like these lovely blue and patterned squares, but when you went up close you could see those kind of cool details, which is the pocket, and I love that pocket flap. I thought that was such a fun detail, but not super overt and very kind of simple. This quilt was made by Erica Movena, probably saying that name completely wrong, for her mom, made out of her stepfather's clothing, and that's why the shirts and the denim and everything, which I thought was really lovely. This beautiful quilt made with linens and menswear shirting from upcycled shirts. I mean, it's a beautiful quilt, but then I read the artist statement, and please take a minute to read the artist statement because I think it's so important and sheds a lot of light on why the upcycled element of this quilt is actually so important.